Welcome to Reason and Company, Ed Vitagliano and Walker Wildman. Now, Walker, you don't probably remember this. Some of our viewers will, but when the Rocky and Bullwinkle show was on, there was a regular cartoon character called Dudley Do-Right of the Royal Canadian Mounted Police. Well, in Canada, the Royal Canadian Mounted Police are doing wrong by Pastor James Coates of Grace Life Church in Alberta, Canada. Why don't you explain to our viewers what's happened to this pastor because he was simply preaching to his church?
Yeah, Pastor Coates in Canada there was having church services every week, and the local authorities, they basically outlawed church services or gatherings, including church services, but Pastor Coates said, look, I'm still going to gather. If congregants want to come, then they're welcome to. So he kept having church, following Scripture, gathering with other believers. And so he was eventually jailed for gathering, the pastor was.
Yeah, and the authorities snuck into the church during services. I mean, they were welcome. Everyone was welcome to come.
Yeah.
The rules, the mandates there in Alberta, Canada, because of COVID, were no church gatherings over 15% of your congregation. Well, no pastor is going to stop people at the door and say, well, I'm sorry, we're at 15%, you can't come. So this was an instance in which Pastor Coates had to choose between obeying God and obeying man. Mm-hmm. And so we, AFA, has been supporting the pastor's stand.
Yeah, absolutely. Last week we launched a petition in support of Pastor Coates in Canada, trying to raise awareness about this issue because, believe it or not, news that gets covered in the U.S. can often impact other countries, including Canada. So we launched a petition that has over 35,000 signatures in support of the pastor, requesting that the local authorities completely drop all the charges. He's been released from jail, but they still need to drop all the charges.
Yeah, and they were gonna let him out of jail if he promised not to preach anymore to his church. Folks, we understand that there are a lot of people very concerned about COVID. A lot of people have died. There are a lot of differing opinions as to whether or not churches should be closed, but casinos and liquor stores should be open, big box stores. We understand all that, but we think that what Pastor Coates did in preaching to his congregation was the right thing to do in following God's call on his life. Listen, we thank you for joining us with Reason and Company. Please go to afa.net if you want to sign this petition. Bye for now.